Alright, well... Unfortunately, once again, it decided to stop. Fortunately, we missed, I don't know, about a minute or two. Nothing terrible, but I hate that we missed anything. Alright, so now, Fender. What are you sticking your nose in for? Hey, I just sensed the vibe. Getting a little harsh and heavy, yeah? Thought I ought to lighten the mood. Help me out here, Kay. Lift our spirits with a little dose of the old Great Thief magic. You don't have to tell me twice. Okay, let me see. If I can do Simeon's voice. Here we go. Objection. What are you... Take this seriously, will you? Thought you could do with somebody running a little interference for you, Milester. Not the most ethical approach, I know, but again, Kay, again. We can worry about whether or not this is the right thing to do later. This is my last chance to try and prove a connection between Mr. Saint and his crimes. Let's forget the kidnappings for now. Is there anything else that suggests that he is our mastermind? Of course. Canis was looking for our secret string puller too, the young pup as he called him. If I could prove that Mr. Saint was that same young pup, then perhaps. What evidence do I have that might point to him being the one involved behind the scenes? Let's see. Uttered by Canis, retyped by the mastermind.
That, because maybe there had to be a middleman who was right.
That's true, and he didn't know Bronco. That's right, our mastermind was involved in Canis and Knight's correspondence chess exchanges. If I can prove that Mr. Saint was the hidden intermediary between the two of them... Alright, that's enough. This is getting painful. You don't have anything, and I have to practice for the show, so if you don't mind... Thank you, Mr. Fender. I can take it from here, and I can't take any more of your interventions. Ooh, just look at that face. Yeah, I like it. Miles Sereno's back in the game for sure. I'm Simeon the funny clown. Look at me. I'm, juggling. Okay, you can stop now. Mr. Saint, you're a fan of chess, I take it? Where did that come from? Chess? Sure, I don't hate it. Our secret string puller was playing correspondence chess with Mr. Canis. I thought Bronco was the one playing chess with Canis. You're saying he was your so-called mastermind? No, it wasn't him. Whoever it was went on manipulating events even after Knight's death. Take a look at this letter, if you would. Who do you think could have written it? I believe it was the person who had inserted himself between Mr. Canis and Knight. And you think that person was me? Hee, why would I go to all that trouble? That's crazy. To make it appear that the two men were connected and communicating directly with one another. The very fact that led Fifi Lagarde to murder him. What? You're saying he set that up to try and get Mr. Knight killed? Listen to yourself. What do you think I am? Some kind of evil puppet master?
Kinda.
Yeah. You've seen me. I can barely even get the animals to do what I want. We could find one of the letters passed between Knight and Canis. That would prove the connection beyond a doubt. I'd like to have your room searched. I believe we might find... Letters? You won't, trust me. What? Once I'm done with something, I put it straight in the trash. Guess I'm not the sentimental type. Why get hung up on the past, right? Yeah. He must have disposed of any incriminating items in order to cover his tracks. Guess you went in without the evidence you needed once again, huh? That's a bad habit, you know. So this doesn't prove anything either. We've fallen short yet again. What do we do now? Are we out of options? You accuse me of betraying my friend and you don't even have any proof? You're despicable. Who was that? Oh, hi. Miss Barry, what does she want? Sorry, it's just, I was thinking about what you were saying, and... This Knight person. You mean Bronco, right? Simeon's friend? Yes, what of it? Does she know something? A letter came from him. What? What did you... How is that possible? Knight is dead. Miss Barry, we need to see this letter right away. Sure, here you go. Let's open it, shall we? It's another correspondence chess letter. The next move from the game with Mr. Canis. Can anybody else smell checkmate? Can't wait to see your face when you lose. But you were never going to beat me, not at chess. It's postmarked the 26th of March, the day before Knight died. I guess it must have been gotten held up en route. Well, we do move around a lot. Part of being a traveling circus, our mail arrives late all the time. Interesting that it's addressed directly to you, Mr. Saint. Yeah. This is it, isn't it? The proof we needed that you were the one facilitating Mr. Canis and Knight's games. One of the letters you would have transcribed into Braille, in order to create the illusion they were somehow connected. Curse you, Bronco. You're still getting in my way even now? I hate you! Simeon, how could you? Mr. Knight was your only friend. We weren't friends. I stopped thinking he was my friend 18 years ago. Oh. Riding around... I nearly froze to death because of him. I was just about to head out and meet my dad at the contest. Oh, thought it stopped again. But then Bronco showed up. He pinned me down and tied me up. He was crying the whole time, whining on and on. I'm sorry, but my dad says I have to do this. And if I don't do what he says, he's so scary. Stop it, Bronco, stop it. I have to go meet my dad, I promised. If I'm not there to taste his candy for him, he'll be so upset. He needs me. If I don't go, he won't be able to show everybody he's the best in the world. But no, he locked me in that car with him, and the two of us nearly died. He thought he could get out, but when he tried the door, it was frozen shut. We were trapped. And that's how I lost my dad. What? You lost your dad? Yeah, Bronco's dad killed mine. He was the son of a murderer. What does he mean? That doesn't match up with what we know at all. Simeon, the victim in the IS-7 incident was a guy named Artie Frost. Yeah, that was my dad's name. My memories got kind of scrambled that day. What little I remembered was pretty mixed up. So I didn't find out until later that my dad was murdered. The murderer was a man named Carmelo Gusto, a confectioner. Really? I never knew Bronco's father's name. Or maybe I chose not to remember. Ugh, just thinking about the sicko that killed my dad turns my stomach. Mr. Saint, are you sure you didn't know the name of the murderer until just now? Heh, do you think I'd sit on it if I did? No, I'd have reported him to the police straight away. All I knew was that Bronco's dad tricked my dad. And that's how I knew my dad was the one who was killed that day. Bronco was a traitor. He helped his father murder mine. He was the son of a cold-blooded killer. He deserved to die. I'm sorry, Mr. Saint, but you've made a mistake. A big one. A mistake? What do you mean? Artie Frost was a sculptor. He has been working in France not so long before the murder, under the name Paul Halik. So I hear, but I don't remember anything about that. I wish I could. Well, I'm afraid it's only natural that you don't, because he wasn't your father. Huh? Is this your idea of a joke? Well, it's not funny, not at all. You're right, it's not, but you need to know the uncomfortable truth. This piece of evidence proves that you're not Artie Frost's son.
It's the ring of the chess piece?
Oh, that's a...
Take that!
Bronco's chess set and a ring. Yes, take a look at the ring for me, if you would. What does the engraving on it tell you? It's 2 letters, right? It is. This is the seal with which Paul Halik used to mark his work. It was found next to Artie Frost's body 18 years ago. But why would Bronco have a memento of my father? The police looked for Frost's son for a long time, and eventually they found him. The ring was handed over to the man they were able to prove was his child, Bronco Knight. What? But that's not... That would mean I was... Precisely, that you are in fact the son of Carmelo Gusto. No, that can't be. My dad was... I remember, don't I? Bronco tied me up and locked me in that car. It was his fault I lost my dad. He deserved to die, didn't he? No way. So I get to see your circus thing even though I'm in jail? Was looking forward to the next move in our little chess game, so the show was just the icing on top. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. I will. And hey, come back soon, okay? I'll be mulling over my next move in the meantime. Oh, speaking of which, I put a little something in your chess set. But you can take a look at it later. A little something. No idea what that might be, but thanks. If you hadn't detained me 18 years ago, it wouldn't have had to end like this. Huh? Did you say something? Me? Oh, it was nothing. Goodbye, Bronco, and farewell. I did all that, and now you're telling me that it was my father who killed Broncos. Then what was all this for? I didn't want to wind up dead too. I didn't want to wind up weak and vulnerable. That's why I tried to be like Canis, why I stayed in touch with him all these years. And there we have it, the truth at last. Mr. Saint, you were Mr. Canis' correspondence chess partner. And you were the one manipulating events this whole time. Eeheeheeheehee. You're right, it was me. It was me all along. At last, he's finally telling the truth. I was the one who witnessed the murder 12 years ago, but you knew that already. President's assassination, just as we thought. Which means he's the one who drew the picture. And they knew it too. That's why Lagarde kept questioning me day in and day out. It got so I couldn't face what I knew the next day would bring. I was a nervous wreck. Who could blame me for wanting to get out of there? But I imagine it wasn't as easy as simply running away. Winter would have sent his men after you. No matter where I went, they were on me. They never stopped coming, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. I couldn't sleep at night. Even the smallest noise had me chasing shadows. It drove me crazy. So, I joined the circus. At least that way, moving from place to place was part of the job. My whole life I've been up against the chief prosecutor and the warden of a prison. No regular person could hope to stand up to people like that. At the time I was a child, I had nobody. But they weren't even the worst of it. The body double was behind it all, controlling everything. It may have been a fake, but he was the president of an entire country. What hope did I have? There was only one person I could turn to. Canis, the man who saved my life. He wasn't like Bronco. He really did want to help me. That's quite a claim. Strange to think of our famously ruthless assassin winning the admiration of the child he saved. He showed me how to stop being a victim, to stop being hunted, and become a hunter myself. And they all became my prey. But I doubt even you imagined the body double would ever go so far as to co-opt our country's police. No, I sure didn't. And as long as Winter was around, no evidence was ever going to stand. He even nearly managed to ruin things this morning. The guard almost got away with it again. But I know him now like the back of my hand. I could see exactly how it was all going to go down. So he saw right through their plan. How Chairman Winter would try to suppress the evidence in Warden Lagarde's trial. I see, and that's why you kidnapped Sean, correct? You wanted to force a guilty verdict regardless of the presence of evidence or the rule of law. Maybe I did, but how else was I going to make them pay for what happened 12 years ago? Whatever helps you sleep at night, the Winter pulled one last surprise, didn't he? He tried to kidnap Sean himself in the hope of influencing the verdict. In other words, you chose the exact same course of action as the man you so fervently claim to hate. That's only if I'd actually kidnapped anyone at all. But I'd never do anything so wicked. Never, ever. Me commit a crime? No. And besides, I don't hate the three of them. If anything, I'm grateful. If they hadn't done what they did, my revenge wouldn't have been nearly as fun. So you admit it. Your motive in all of this was nothing more than revenge. Sure, I admit it. So what? I despised every single one of them. But here's the kicker. I didn't kill anybody. The most you can blame me for is writing the odd letter here and there. A quick note to Ringer to tell her about Winter, another to him so he knew about her. But the fact that they wanted to kill each other and one of them succeeded, that was all on them. So you take no responsibility for the fact that your actions resulted in multiple murders. Right, same thing at Gourd Lake. People are much easier to control than animals, you know. The whole fake assassination plot, I handed that to Bronco on a plate. That was part of his plan, too. So Rook's murder was... No, that was all Bronco's idea. Nothing to do with me at all. Still, it moved things in the right direction, wouldn't you say? Isn't fate a crazy thing? You can't talk like that about a murder. Setting Lagarde up was easy, too. I just made it seem like Knight and Canis were in contact with each other. And slipped the chisel inside the chest set. So it was you who put it there. Yes, it was. I thought that might point everybody nicely in Canis' direction. Worked out pretty well, even if I do say so myself. Who knew that would be all it took to make that awful woman murder poor Bronco? I guess she got to where she was, to where she just saw enemies everywhere she looked. I know the feeling. Even the smallest thing can send your paranoia into overdrive. And then things got ugly quickly. I had a front row seat for the whole show. You were the last piece to be put into play, of course. Who, me? You solved both cases and finally brought down Winter and Lagarde. I guess you could say your powers of deduction were the weapon that put an end to them both. I didn't solve those cases for your sake. Sure, you didn't know you were doing me a favor. You were just playing at being an attorney for a little while, right? What did you say? All I had to do was cower and say no a few times. And you rode to my rescue like the hero you are. Was getting arrested part of your plan too? No, that wasn't something I expected, I have to admit. I never thought they'd take the chisel for the murder weapon. That was the real plot twist. Made my blood run cold for sure. But then, who should come through with the turnabout to end all turnabouts? The greatest legal mind of his generation. A knight, my knight in shining armor. I bet it felt pretty good saving me like that, huh? You ought to thank me, you know. I don't do that for many people. You're wrong. He wasn't playing at being an attorney. He was trying to help you because helping people is what Mr. Edgeworth does. He helped me right when I needed it most. Okay. Aw, did he? Daddy's shoes for size? No, that's not what he was doing. Come on, K-Meister, don't let this clown get you down. He's projecting, plain and simple, painting other folks with his own grubby brush. It's not just that he doesn't trust other people. The poor kid doesn't even understand the concept. Doing something for somebody else's sake, forget about it. He'll never understand. You think I care about what you have to say about me? Consider this for a second. I've gotten my revenge on everybody I set out to get it from. And yet... Think about it, I never actually did anything. What's my crime exactly? Explain it to me. You think you can pin an incitement charge on me? Read my letters, I don't mention murder anywhere. If I did, maybe you'd have a case. Maybe you could say I encouraged them. But it's the same story as always, I'm afraid. You can't prove I did anything at all. That's not true, you kidnapped me. Sorry, but did I miss the part where you proved that? All I ever admitted to was sending letters. You? Letters which didn't threaten, coerce, or encourage anybody to do anything. I just passed on what you might call pertinent information. Yeah, he's a slippery one, I'll give him that. There's gotta be something we can do. What about this? Excitement stuff he's talking about. Incitement, Kay. It means to encourage or direct another person to commit a crime. In the eyes of the law, it's seen as equivalent to committing the crime itself. So then we just need to prove that he told them to do it. You say that like it's going to be easy. Guess maybe you're not so big on due process after all. You think you can make me carry the can for murders I had nothing to do with? Think again. I don't even have to talk to you if I don't want to. In fact, why am I still talking to you? I can think of one reason. The tent is surrounded. There's nowhere left to run. Really? You don't think I planned for my escape too? What if, just to pluck an idea out of nowhere, I trained all of these vicious wild beasts to attack on command, for example? All I'd have to do is say the word, then sidle off stage into chaos. What? You wouldn't. Hee. I'm just spitballing, but you'd pay to see that, wouldn't you? I could just as easily take Sean hostage with the gun I may or may not have in my pocket. Yeah, you know what? That would make for a killer show. You would do no such thing. It's hard to know what lengths he might actually be prepared to go. But knowing what we know about him already, we had better be prepared for the worst. Fine, I'll humor you, but once the curtain goes up on this little performance, it better be a lively one. Bore me, and we're done here. Alright, let's see if you can keep me entertained, shall we? Alright, so any bad evidence we submit is going to cost more. Yeah, he's not going to give me an inch. But there must be something we can do. We can't let his crimes go unpunished. You know, it's interesting. I've heard a lot of Poirot books, and I won't say which one, but there is one Poirot book where the guy or gal or people who Poirot was going after, their whole thing was to manipulate others to commit crimes. Like, that was their motive. And it's kind of funny to see this, where that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to manipulate and skirt around the law. But, you know, if we could also prove that, you know, he had something to do with the presidential assassination, with Shelley the Killer, and kidnapped Kay and all, I mean, those are big things.
Hold it!
You encourage others to commit murder, and those murders were duly committed. And if I can prove it, you will be punished just as if you had done the deed yourself. Yeah, what was the word for it again? I forgot already. Incitement, Kay. Chairman Winter, Warden Lagarde, and Bronco Knight, all were criminals in their own right, and all committed unforgivable acts. But all were induced to commit those acts by someone behind the scenes. This man right here. Oh ho, oh ho, oh ho 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 ho. You really don't hold back, do you, Miles? But it doesn't change anything.
Hold it!
Nowhere at all. What, you didn't look? I can give you a minute if you like. He's clearly confident that I won't find anything. He must have planned those letters down to the last word. Look, I don't want to teach you how to do your job, but if you can't prove I encouraged them to commit those murders, your incitement charge goes up in smoke. Too bad, so sad, huh, Miles? If I did, maybe you'd have a case.
Hold it!
I know for a fact that you made those murders happen. You told me yourself. Did I? And you can prove it? If you can't, this ends here. Just ask yourself, could this sweet, innocent boy have done the things you're saying? No. I hate to admit it, but he's right. Without proof, we have nowhere to go with this. If we could only prove what he said on that phone call. Well, did we have the Torosaurus with us? Or a bug? Or something? Yeah!
Objection!
Oi. Not even your friends agree with you. So sad. I can never do what you do, Mr. Genius Prosecutor, and for once I'm glad about that. Uh-oh, Simeon's enjoying this. You can't let him get the better of you. And I won't. I'm nowhere near done yet. The next piece of evidence I present will shut him up once and for all. Alright, let's keep,
Hold it!
The same story as always. What do you mean by that? What does that matter? That's not important here. You know what is important, though? That you can prove nothing. Nothing. Until we have some way of showing that he's guilty, we're just going to continue floundering. Either I thrust items of evidence in front of him and hope for the best, or I go over it all one more time. Whichever method I choose, proof is the only way we're going to get anywhere here. He confessed to me over the telephone. He told me he was the one who made Chairman Winter kill Rosie Ringer. I just need to find a piece of evidence that proves what was said on that call.
Objection! Objection!
Huh. I guess I'm... I really thought it was the bug. Oh! Miss Lloyd's tape, I think it is.
Objection!
There we go. That's what I was trying to get at. It just, yeah, the wrong piece of it. The idea was there, dang it. I'm afraid you're wrong. I have proof, because you said so yourself. I said that? Weird, I don't remember. I know you think you can worm your way out of everything, but this time you're wrong. I am? Yes, because our conversation was being recorded, by someone intercepting the signal from the very listening device you planted. It was? You got your conversation with the clown here on tape. That's what you're trying to tell us? No. Lang Zai says, a schemer schemes will swallow him in the end. Miss Lloyd, could you play us the tape, please? You bet I can. Got it. It was this part right here. It's right around here. That's weird. Is something wrong, Miss Lloyd? I'll say, seems we maybe didn't quite catch the next part on tape, Cam. What? Why? How could it not be on there? Aw, poor babies. You think I'd leave myself wide open like that? Think again. There's something a little special about that bug, you see. It can be turned on and off remotely. What? I never knew they make those. Remote control bugs. Sure, they exist, but... So you switched it off to avoid being recorded. Bingo! Well, then didn't he just admit that he... You would have had to know you were being recorded in the first place. And I did, of course I did. It was so obvious that someone was eavesdropping, and that's because... Miss Lloyd, was it? You knew about the kid prosecutor's kidnapping without any prompting. No. You heard that whole conversation. I did indeed, old pal, but I must say, I thought you would have figured it out much sooner. Aren't you supposed to be a genius prosecutor? Now, where were we again? Oh yeah, at the part where if you couldn't prove incitement, it was game over. Ah well. Aw shucks, so my tape ain't gonna be of no use to nobody after all. Come on, I must record something you can use. If only that were true. Hey K-Meister. Yeah? The old bugaroo, it was hidden in your pin that whole time, right? That chick anything loose from the old brain tree? I don't know, give me a sec to think. You're the only one who's been directly in contact with him before. So sad, relying on flawed evidence, desperately trying to make it stick. Well, that's quite enough of that for now. Next topic, please. Huh? He's trying to steer us away from our current line of inquiry? Kay had a one-on-one encounter with him only recently. What if the sound from that point in time had been recorded? Miss Lloyd, how long were you recording the intercepts from the bug for? Started about, let's see now, 2 nights about? In which case, during which time frame would we be likely to find Mr. Saint's voice on that tape? I don't think it'd be this morning. When did she... When was Kay kidnapped? Time-wise. Wasn't it just like yesterday? This morning she was kidnapped? I thought it was last night. No. Last night, you say? Maybe it was this morning. Well, just failed. Kay was kidnapped by our culprit. The bug might have recorded his voice then, which means he might still be on that tape. Was it this morning? Let me go with what you said. No, it was 2 nights ago. Mr. Saint abducted Kay and took her up to the roof of the big building 2 nights ago. What if there was a recording from around that time? Yeah, it was 2 nights ago. Gosh dang it. Miss Lloyd, quickly play us any tape you have from the night before last. Huh? Oh, sure thing. That's the sound of the balloon. Indeed it is, and around that time I imagine Mr. Saint would have been transporting you in it, which means he can't have been too far away from you or the bug. Is there anything else on the recording, I wonder? Wait, that noise! That was a gunshot. Yeah, you turned the bug off then too, it seems. Unluckily for you, you were a little late in doing so. There's no escaping it now. That gunshot ties you directly to the case. What are you talking about? Nobody ever even mentioned a gun. He's wrong. Somebody involved with this case discharged a firearm. I just need to remember who it was and present the piece of evidence that proves it. Let's see. Who discharged the gun? That was like 12 years ago. How did Rosie Ringer die? Yes. Yeah, there's a knife in there. The thing is, if he was... There should have been a gunshot. So... Somebody involved with this case discharged a firearm. I just need to remember who it was and present the piece of evidence that proves it. The Torosaurus... I thought it had stuff from a while ago. I forget what was on the Torosaurus, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because we have the fact that he was in the balloon. Yeah, that's the sound of the balloon. I imagine Mr. Singh would have been transporting K on it. And there was a bang.
Is there anything in that video?
No, the video was just the rehearsal. Parked in front of the big building, driver nowhere to be found. I don't see what that would have to do with the balloon. Like, the balloon was going up. And then there's a gunshot. So where would the gunshot have... What evidence would link that?
Oh, the picture, the thing.
Why would the picture from 12 years ago have to do with something that happened 2 nights ago?
An incident related to this case. It's far-fetched. I just can't think of what it is.
Yeah, it's very far-fetched. Especially since they didn't shut the gun because they just staged the photo. Simeon's probably standing there like, geez, okay, I'll wait. That was from 12 years ago. Was the person who fired the gun the same person that kidnapped Edith? Possibility, but not a certainty by any means. We need to find a piece of evidence tying somebody involved in this case to a firearm. Somebody involved in this case to a firearm. Well, we can't submit a profile. No, we haven't done that. This is 2 nights ago. Does it tell me what? I'm gonna try the big building since he was going up a big building. I don't actually know if this would be anything, but it has something to do with him flying up. Boo. Look, Fender, why don't you tell me what evidence to pick? The gunshot! Let me see. A piece of evidence shows that a gun was used in an incident related to this case.
Take that!
No. I don't know why I thought anything related to that. I think it was a car backfiring. Let's try
Take
it.
that!
Nope. Yeah, I don't remember any gunshot anything. I don't remember that. Well, I know he was digging for the monster footprints, but I don't see how any sound on the ground would translate to something that sounds like a gunshot in a floating balloon. Maybe it has to do with
Take
the
that!
air balloon? No. No, we haven't, that's the thing, but I don't want to try everything. Because then that just doesn't become fun. If I just go through process of elimination. Like, I feel like all this stuff shouldn't have anything to do with anything, because this is all from 12 years ago, except for the diagram. But the diagram is not a gunshot. Okay, of lion lilies. I feel like if we played this every day, we'd have a better memory. Because it's taken several weeks, it's like, what happened? Let's see, work for more in the dark, pocket chess. One.
Take that!
Yeah, I figured no, but like, oh yeah. Man, Fender, stop telling me it isn't like me. Just tell me what evidence to pick, Fender. You must know. You're smart.
Is it finished?
Autopsy?
Take that!
What? It is? Gunshot residue detected on right hand. What? You looked it up. How did we not read the first sentence of this? Oh my god. Trace gunshot residue was detected on his hand. Erk. Where was Kay when the gunshot was recorded? That's right, she was in the balloon, being taken by you to the top of the big building. However, the roof wasn't as deserted as you needed it to be. Yes, I was there with the president. Wait, not long after we started talking, he noticed something and told me to leave. The gunshot rang out shortly after that? Don't tell me you didn't hear it yourself, Mr. Saint. Not when it sounds crystal clear in this recording. You're just going to pretend to ignore me? What else do you expect me to do when you keep spouting your weird theories? We didn't just hear a gunshot on the tape. If you listen carefully, you can hear that the bullet hit something too. Could the president have been aiming at Mr. Saint? What would the bullet have struck? I mean, the balloon, right? It would have shot the balloon.
Take that!
And then the president was firing at the balloon. And if he was, what we heard in that tape could have been the bullet hitting the basket. Let's take a look and see. Oh ho ho. A hole with a bullet stuck in it. There's a bullet hole in the bottom of the basket. I'd call that pretty conclusive proof. Ugh! Well, Mr. Saint, how do you explain not just the sound on the tape, but the accompanying bullet hole? Hehehehe. You see everything, don't you? It's pretty impressive, I have to admit. I doubt there's anything I could hide from you if you really wanted to find it. Just shut up and confess, will you? Alright, no need to get cranky. I'll admit I flew the balloon up to the roof, but when I arrived, Judge Gavelle and the president were already there. That came as a surprise, I have to say. Only the president noticed me, and he made the good judge leave right away. Then he pointed his gun at me and fired. But why was he trying to shoot down the balloon? Oh, that's simple enough. When I arrived, he was just about to murder your friend the judge here. Me? Yeah, you. You told him about Sean. What did you think would happen? Why do you think he met with you in the first place? You thought you were going to expose him as an imposter. Because she knew the truth about Sean's parentage, she was afraid. Ah, afraid. Yeah, you could say that. The man was a total coward. His hands were shaking so much when he tried to get rid of me, he couldn't even shoot straight. So you see, I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. I was an innocent bystander.
Hold it!
So you didn't... What the... Hey. So you didn't expect to find the two of them there. Of course not, why would I? But it's lucky I got there when I did. We all know what would have happened if I'd have been any later. He was just about to try and kill you, Gavel. You really didn't suspect a thing? I'm afraid I did not. I had no idea. Maybe you shouldn't have blabbed to him about the kid. Did you ever think of that? I was merely trying to... What kind of mother are you? You're lucky he didn't kill you and then go after the boy. I'm your opponent here, not Judge Gavel. Now leave her alone and tell us what we need to know. Don't worry, Your Honor, I'll take it from here. I'm in your debt, Mr. Edgeworth. As is Sean, I trust that you will look after us both. And I pray that the goddess of justice will watch over us all. Ehehe, your precious goddess didn't even warn you there was a balloon right behind you.
Hold it!
He made her leave, but why? Wasn't he planning to kill her? Sure, but I'll bet he didn't want to do it in front of witnesses. Murderers don't tend to like that. She still didn't know he wasn't the real president, right? His secret was safe for the time being. And now that he knew about Sean, he could kill both of them whenever he wanted. You two got lucky when he died, huh? Why the frowns? I'd be smiling from ear to ear if I were you. Hee. I don't think anybody will be smiling until this matter has been cleared up once and for all. So please continue if you would. Yeah, your wish is my command. Where were we? Oh yeah, that coward of a fake president. I guess a witness suddenly appearing in the sky must have shaken him up pretty badly and he panicked.
Hold it!
You're lucky that the bullet only struck the bottom of the basket. Yeah, I tried to get out of there the second he pulled out that gun. Couldn't have my balloon going pop. But it was a close run thing. So you left right then and there. Of course I did. He was shooting at me. Are you saying there's a problem with that? Does that present a problem? Sure, it does. In the end, you managed to leave Kay there up on that rooftop, which means you didn't actually leave the vicinity, did you? Oh yeah, I guess I forgot to tell you the next part. After he shot at me, he escaped through the hatch to the 51st floor. I hung around a little longer to make sure the coast was cleared, then I landed on the roof. Would you mind appending that? I already know what to present there. He did not do that. Because Ms. Hart already said nobody... The president did not pass through.
Objection!
You're lying to us again. I am? The president never entered the storeroom the night before last. Miss Hart testified to that fact. What? And you believe the word of a two-bit hack over mine? I beg your gosh darn pardon. Say that about the chief again, I dare you. I'll wipe that smile right off of your stupid clown face. So we know Hart was camped out on the 51st floor that entire evening. But if our fake president didn't escape through there, then how the heck did he get off that roof? An excellent question, and one that I hope to provide the answer to next. We know that he didn't leave via the elevator, so neither that nor the hatch are possibilities, which leaves only one possible way of escaping that rooftop. Did he use the hot air balloon to go back down?
Take that!
He flew. He flew. Yes, in Mr. Saint's balloon.
Objection!
Whoa. Quit fooling around, will you? Why in the world would I give that guy a lift in my balloon?
Objection!
There was a security camera on the elevator, and Miss Hart was on the 51st floor the whole time. There's no other way he could have left that rooftop. You know what the circus is all about? Making the audience think you're in danger, giving them a thrill. But it's time to bring this act to an end. I'm not in danger here, even if you think I am. What do you mean? Watch and learn. Miss Hart, can I ask you something? You were keeping guard on the 51st floor the whole time, right? Not even blinking for a moment? You bet your big toe I was.